late night here. I wasn't actually gonna say that. It's not late. It's like 8 o'clock. Not even. I think it's like 7. Actually, no. I think it's like 6. I don't even know. With this January. It's another cold, snowy day. At least the snow keeps things interesting. Um, I haven't even uploaded anything yet. I don't even know what. There we go. Is that even better? Now, like, turn it to black and white. Anywho, yeah, I've been here every day. I've been here every single damn day. Believe me, with this weather, with this snow, with the gray, man, I would love to just bury myself under some covers. I just can't do it. My body's too restless. My mind is too restless. Just in this permanent restlessness. And then, I just work for hours and hours and hours on end, doing stuff on the street, burning walls with paint, other collages, assemblage, you name it, fixing this, priming that. And then I'm doing it in the dark, which I already messed up something because I was too close to the can, and just like now there's drips and whatever. It's always like some sort of crisis with the work. And just spending gobs of money on food and supplies, and it's just like there's just no end in sight, and just trying to work ideas and work them and work them and work them, and you don't even know if they're any good, and then and experimenting, and it's just like in this endless cycle, and I do until I feel like I guess I'm done. There's no real magic kind of like time. I guess I try not to stay too late. I feel like I'm staying up later, getting up later, trying to burn off some calories. I don't know, but to what end? There's no like time limit. It just all of a sudden I feel like I've done and I can't do anymore. And basically that comes down to things that are just drying. And I need like 24 hours for like something like silicone, or the paint to dry properly, or some coating. And then you're rushing through things, and then that's not good. And then I don't have adequate lighting because during this whole construction they took down every single light. There's no lights on here. The only light that you have is whatever you buy and plug in. If you unplug every light here, it would just be pitch black. So I can't work in that because I'm not paying attention. I also got decaffeinated tea. I didn't want decaffeinated tea. I wanted caffeinated tea, and whatever. It's stuff like this. This whole cheapening of society. I got Lipton tea, and on the damn wrapper, comes into these golden bags. It could say decaffeinated on it. So I grabbed the wrong goddamn tea. Sorry, didn't mean to curse. So I'm kind of mad now. Because I wanted something with a little pep. Not that I'm that tired, but either way. I don't know, everything it's like I'm doing everything to stop falling, or the feeling of falling, You know that feeling of falling? I feel it all the time. And that's what I feel like now. And I'm trying to keep, as they say, you try to keep busy. And I'm just trying to keep busy. And the only way, and keeping busy is the only way to not go crazy. And, but it's just time and money and like no prospects, no future, like no nothing with this stuff. I'm just taking a chance. And then you don't even know if the work is good, and then you see other people's work, and then you realize their work is not so good, and you don't even know what good even means. I'm just trying to come up with a good narrative, a good story. Maybe the execution is not great. I almost feel like I want to rejoin. I used to be part of the Art Students League, to go back to the Art Students League and to take some life drawing classes just to become a more well-rounded artist, like academic wise, because I don't, my painting and my drawing is not so good, and that, like and being self-taught is not doing much for me. Like that's like how I'm thinking. Like a guy my age is supposed to be thinking about retirement, 401k, all that stuff is, my life is pretty much obliterated when it comes to that stuff. But then I'm thinking long and hard about taking classes at the Art Students League to be a better life drawing artist. Like that's, to go into this to the extent of just like wanting to perfect a craft, perfect, like, isn't that more of a noble goal, than money and relaxation? Where am I going to relax? I can't freaking relax. I try to relax at home. I told you one day, I had a maintenance day, and I was bouncing off the walls because I couldn't drink. I didn't go outside. I was making food, and I was completely depressed just by staying home one freaking day. So forget about vacation, forget about relaxation, forget about retirement. What am I going to do? I'm just going to bounce off every freaking wall all day, all night. And it's not going to be good for anybody. So, yeah, not thinking about rest. I'm thinking about like how much I can push this further. Like, if I'm already on this path, I've been on this path for a long time now. Why don't you just get better at it? Why not be why don't you become a master at this whole thing? You really want to go that far, then go that far. Go all the way, instead of like just screwing around and then and going through this whole thing that my reach exceeds my grasp, and that my ideas are better than my execution, and I've always had problems with them matching up. That everything up here was well-rounded and perfect, and then when it comes to my hands, when it comes to the medium, it's just like here I am trying to build a space shuttle, and I come up with like a soapbox racer, and it's like, at what point in my life am I going to have those things finally match up, that any idea that I have, I can mimic directly in front of me, just conjured up exactly how I envision it. And it's like the talent, the technique, the repetition of like my own, quality is not improving. So I feel like I need to learn more in order to be a better artist. But instead of pursuing, marriage or kids or comfort or some sort of stability, it's like I'm just like, okay, let me go as the most opposite way I can, to kind of like, because I feel like, look, I've already gone this far. What else am I going to do? It's like I can't turn around and go to law school. I can't turn around and be a CPA. CPA's like, oh, you could do that. It's like I don't really feel like I have a lot of time left. I don't think any of us have a lot of time. And I'm trying to use it just like, if you're going to be great, be great. If not, then forget it. That's what's important. It's unfortunate that it just like leads to this place of just derision and poverty and uncertainty, and who knows? And then one day you're gone, and they just take all your stuff and throw it in a goddamn dumpster. That's what I did with my parents. What everyone does with their parents. It's like, I have my friend still has his mom's ashes in the plastic container that they gave him after she died, and it's sitting in the garage, and it's been sitting there for 12 years. He didn't even have the decency to buy an urn. It's like, a whole lifetime, and you wind up in a plastic container anyway. Who knows if they'll even bury you? Who knows where you'll go? I mean, his cat died, and he's got an urn for the cat, but he doesn't have an urn for his mom. It's just like, that's so awful. This is more like in memory of Coffee the cat, and he's got all these pictures and. Somebody bought him a sculpture with like that was carved in plastic and what it was like clear plastic and has a light source and stuff like that, so it glows in the kitchen of like this cat, this memorial of this cat, and his mom's ashes are in a damn garage. It's just like the woman gave birth to you and raised you, but yet but the cat gets like a whole mantle over the chimney. So, where am I going with that? But it's just funny. All right.